I would like to invite to stage our friend, former Member of Parliament, Mr. Honourable Jim Karygiannis.
Armenia was 99 years ago, and maybe the history may have been forgotten. I'm wondering if our friends across the way want to make any comments about the occupied parts of Cyprus. I'm wondering if our friends across the way want to mention anything about the churches that they've destroyed in the north part of Cyprus. 40,000 troops are stationed in the part of Cyprus. To protect whom? We have close to 30,000 people in Afghanistan fighting terrorism. Who is the Turkish army fighting in the north part of Cyprus? I want to welcome them here today because their presence only goes to show the Turkish responsibility in the genocide of the Pontian Greeks, the Assyrians, and the Armenians. I hope they have the guts to come and say, sorry, we apologize for the mistakes of our forefathers. The shame is directly on them, being the children of the people that perpetrated the genocides. And they're here today even denying what their forefathers did. The shame is directly upon them. There's nothing to be ashamed on this side of the barricade. There's a lot to be ashamed on the other side of the barricade. Not only did they deny it for hundreds of years, their grandchildren are here today. A little bit of check of history is what really is needed. 350,000 Pontian Greeks, 1.5 million Armenians. That is not a lie. The genocide is not a lie. The marches in the deserts are not a lie. The rapes of our women is not a lie. What we've suffered in the denial, that is not a lie. The lie is that they still, to this day, after 99 years, their grandchildren are still continuing in the mindset of their forefathers. We thought that that mindset was only with the Ottomans. Well, guess what, folks? It's still there today. I had to go to Greece because my father-in-law was sick. So I flew through Istanbul, and I tried to go on YouTube at the lounge in Istanbul. And right there, it was blocked. And it said clearly, it was blocked by the government of Canada. Now, in what country in the world do you have a president suing his own government? Nowhere else except Turkey. Mr. Entergat is doing that. In what country in the world do you have democracy when the day of the election in Van and Diyarbakir, the police are marching hundreds down the street? In what country in the world do you have democracy when it's clearly stated in the Turkish constitution that no army individual should go into the poll wearing a gun? Well, I've witnessed that both. So if that's what they call democracy, I am flabbergasted. Turkey is part of the G20. I state to you right here today, if the other G19 have any brains, they'll kick them right out. No human rights, no respect of religion, and no respect of the law. That's the practice that they've done for hundreds of years. This is the practice that they've done on our forefathers. They killed, they maimed, they raped, just because we happen to have a different religion, just because we happen to think different. Well, this House of Commons, which I was a member for 25 years, in 2004, seen things different under Prime Minister Martin. And the current government seeing things even more different. But I'm just wondering who's the brainless individual that allowed that side to come on today. Well, we thank him for being here. We thank him for admitting the crimes of their forefathers. We thank him for being here. The only thing, however, that they don't have the sense and the pride to come over and say, we were wrong. We are sorry. We want to work with you in the spirit of Canadian multiculturalism to move things on. This only happens in other parts of the world. They should be ashamed that they're here today. The shame is directly on their shoulders, not only because they're here, but their continual denial after 100 years. And if you're an Armenian in Istanbul or any other part of Turkey today, God help you. Now, not only God help you there, Turkey is still continuing its outside the boundaries, let's say, takeovers. They did it in Cyprus. They want to do it in the west part of Thrace. And they did it certainly in Syria. There's no question that the involvement of Al-Qaeda in Syria, Turkey had a finger to play in it. There's no question that they came in through the borders. So I join you and say the following. We are 1 year away from the 100th year of commemoration. I'm seeking counsel in the area that I represent as a member of parliament. And my only solemn promise to the Armenians of Toronto is that next year we're going to have a statue on a public property to commemorate the death of our forefathers. And if the people as to our right want to come and commemorate with us, they're welcome. If they want to come and say other things, freedom of speech. But this only goes to show that they today are recognizing what their forefathers did. Because if that was a lie, you wouldn't care after 100 years. You wouldn't be here saying different. So they're here only defending the lies of their forefathers and their governments. So and you draw a conclusion, we've been saying for years that the Ottomans did this. The presence of the Turkish people here today only goes to confirm that Turkey is responsible for what he did, for what he's doing, and what he's thinking of doing in the future. Thank you for having me. God bless our forefathers. God bless the people that are here. And I think they're leaving. I think they're going. They finally got the message. We thank them for coming to tell us that they're sorry for what their forefathers did to our forefathers. Never again. Shnuragaliam.